What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I gotta have a conversation with you guys about Tiege Hanley because you see how the sun is hitting me. This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Tiege Hanley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people when I see Dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self-care. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. Again, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. What's going on? Is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels. It is Wednesday, November 13th, 2024, year of our Lord. What a glorious day. Oh my God. I can't believe what I'm seeing, what I'm reading, what I'm hearing, and the things that's happening and the radical change that is about to take place in the United States of America. We are literally going to make America great again. I can't believe it. When I go over this show, by the time that I end this show, either you're going to be incredibly upset or you're going to be elated. When I get done with this show today, either you're going to be incredibly upset or you are going to be elated. And why is that? Because we have, over a period of time, since the election, been talking about the civil war within the Democratic Party. But what we now have content to cover, and I like to wait until I actually can confirm it myself, is an opportunity to see what the radical changes is going to be with this upcoming administration. So I covered it a little bit yesterday on After Hours. Shout out to everybody that tuned in to After Hours. And I covered it a little bit on the Anton Daniels with a quick clip of Trump. But oh my God, what I'm looking at today, I mean, did Trump literally just end the gender war? Did he settle the dispute about what men can do in women's sports? Did he have a conversation with the people and say, listen, anybody that is helping a child transition will be persecuted, sued, hospitals won't be able to get no fund? We're going to get into it. We're going to get into it today. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? I appreciate y'all for continuing to rock with me. Let me go ahead and acknowledge the sponsor of the show, Tiege Hanley. If Tiege wasn't sponsoring the show, I don't know where I would be because it is a phenomenal product, not because of the sponsorship itself, but because of the product that I discovered as a result of it. If you guys are not a part of the Tiege Hanley family, then I would encourage you to do so. Do not do it with any other product. Make sure you use the Ton Dog Tiege because I got that special thing for you. I got that 40% plus 20% off for life, 40% off your order, 20% off for life, and then also you may even get it. I might throw a free gift in there. So make sure y'all tap into that Tiege Hanley. It is a phenomenal product. Ladies, get it for the fellas. Fellas, don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. You know what I'm saying? Also on top of that, if you are not a part of the Bag Chasers, let me get a round of applause for the Bag Chasers. If you're not a part of the Bag Chasers, then shame on you. Because I can't say shame on me because I told you and the information is out there. And if anybody was a part of the last live stream or any of the previous live streams that I've now re-uploaded onto the Patreon, then you know that there is millions, not a million, millions of dollars worth of game inside of there. All right, next we got Block Club coming up, where we go over the second iteration of the real estate, where I break down certain things. Also, I have an exclusive video that I have coming out for you guys. You know how banging those are. So information, and then make sure y'all tap into the Discord. The link to the Discord is in the description of any of the most recent videos inside of the Patreon, all right? Last but not least, I would encourage you guys to come and kick it with me in person. If you've never kicked it with me in person, you need to do so. Come and kick it with me. December 14th, Detroit. You know what? I might shoot over to Miami for a little bit. Take a little bit of a vacation. I don't know. We're going to see. That just hit my mind. But make sure that you guys tap in to the Patreon. Come and get your tickets December 14th in Detroit. We're going to be running it up. If you've never met me in person, you in for a treat, because I'm 10 times the person that I am online. You know how they say never meet your heroes? Not saying that I'm your hero, but you know how they say never meet your heroes? Well, I will say that is the complete opposite with me. I am a hoot and hollering of a time. I love people. I have a great time, and we have an awesome, awesome time together. Anyways, without further ado, let me go ahead and get started with the show. So before I get started, let me just say this right here. Shout out to my dog, Mike, that dude, and ESDC. I appreciate y'all for supporting me on the app. Also, if you have sent me a Zelle, and I'm going to continue to refund. If you haven't gotten a refund yet, you will do so over the next week, as I discover people's Zelles and all of that type of stuff that we need to refund that had coaching calls, until we restart the coaching calls at some point next year, early next year. I will be returning all of your monies. So I have to make sure that you guys get your monies. So look forward to that. If you have sent me something, and if you want to expedite the process, and send me an updated email that said, hey, Anton, this is my Zelle information, blah, 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 blah. Did they flip Chicago red as a city? Was it half and half? What's the numbers? Chicago is transitioning, just like your girlfriend. Not your girlfriend, Forsaken Archive, but you know how people are going through the change? That's what Chicago is going through. It's a slow transition. They're taking hormone pills, and they becoming something different. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe they already changed, and then they're trying to get back to the core of who they are. Shout out to my dog, Forsaken Archives. South 343 says, my birthday is today. Just tuning in to watch you. Appreciate the knowledge you have bestowed upon me. I'm 40 years wiser today. Feeling great, bro. I appreciate you. Shout out to South 343. Happy birthday, big dog, and happy birthday to everybody that got a birthday in November. Oh, man, I don't know the signs, so I don't really believe in that. So I just want to wish y'all happy birthday. Eric Wells says, 80 to the next Stock Club stream. Could you give thoughts on IPOs? Oh, absolutely. I love talking about initial public offerings and companies that are going public. 100% Eric Wealth. Make sure you remind me before the next Stock Club, and I can go over that. I can break that down for you. FEMA dropping of hundreds of trailers of supplies in Detroit. What do they have planned? I don't know. I haven't heard anything about it because y'all haven't sent me the email. So the minute that y'all send me the email, I can start talking about it. You know what I'm saying? Eat raw. Show, you know what I'm saying? All right. Y'all ready to get started with the show? Again, make sure y'all tap into the Patreon link is in the description. Y'all have to get it. You don't have no choice. Your family needs you to get it. All right. Quick hits. Quick Hits is a segment of the show that we don't necessarily think that we need to dedicate an entire segment to, but we definitely want to keep y'all in the loop of what's going on in these streets and across the United States of the Americas. All right, great show lined up for y'all today. First things first. A man was shot during an attempted robbery at a dollar store. I'm so ashamed to even say this. Man was shot during an attempted robbery at a dollar store in Chicago. Check it out.
Breaking news topping the 10 tonight. A chaotic scene at a South Shore Family Dollar store. At least one man was shot when masked men attacked a security guard. Our Jamont Terry is there sharing what he's learned on the scene from investigators.
Chicago police have been on the scene here at 79th and Yates for a couple of hours as they're dealing with what was an attempted armed robbery when three men came inside this Family Dollar store here in the South Shore neighborhood. Now, in the middle of the robbery or attempted robbery, we are told that one of the three suspects pulled out a weapon and hit an unarmed security guard over the head. As they were exiting the store, apparently a second person with a weapon fired a shot at one of the three robbers, shooting him directly in his chest. But when Chicago police arrived, that person who pulled the gun in the parking lot was nowhere to be found. So in this hour, Chicago police, they know that one person, the robbery suspect, was shot in the chest, taken to the hospital. He is 60 years old, and at this hour, they are looking for the individual who fired the shots at one of the three robbers as they exited the Family Dollar here. That is very
How much money y'all think y'all gonna get at the Family Dollar? Couple different thoughts here. Shout out to Chicago. Chicago, y'all gotta do better. Y'all gotta do better. In Illinois, y'all gotta do better. All right? How much money do y'all think y'all gonna get at a dollar store? Now, you know that most of the transactions is electronic nowadays. And on top of that, everything that you buy is gonna cost $1. So now you risked your life for a dollar store robbery, three guys. That means you got to split it three ways. Let's say that they sold 600 items that day. That means each of y'all get $200. You better off joining the Patreon and leveling up and getting your life together. You better off going to work. Now you shot in the chest. Security guard is unarmed. He's just there as a visible presence, as a visible person. Somebody else come from behind y'all and say, hey, you, and shoot you in the chest. Now he on a run. Police is looking for him. You shot in the chest, and everything just go bad. Man, shout out to Chicago. I gotta show love to Chicago, because Chicago, without you, I'm not sure that this show would be as entertaining as it is. But we gonna come back to Chicago a little later in the show, because we got to bring Brandon Johnson to the front of the congregation. In addition to that, a man over in NYC chokes a woman to death, and he never even knew her. Ladies, be careful.
Woman was choked out outside of a hotel in Times Square.
All right, let's get right to the scene. And Fox 5's Linda Schmidt, who is our top story tonight at 5. Linda, wow.
Yeah, absolutely awful story here. We're talking about a 23-year-old woman. Police telling us that she was stalked by a man that she didn't know as she was walking on the sidewalk here. We are outside of the Plaza New York Times Square Hotel. This is just off of 8th Avenue. It is near Times Square, but it is actually in Midtown. And they are telling me that this man had a long criminal history. Go ahead and take a look at this video right here. This is from earlier today. Now, police are saying this is the...
There y'all go. There y'all go. There y'all go. Hey, ladies. Hey, you know how y'all be out in these streets and y'all keep saying, I'm dating to marry. I'm trying to be in a relationship. And I met this guy. He tall, dark. Well, you might be running into a guy that's going to choke you to death on the streets of New York. That's how safe it is. Y'all want to be out in these streets? I don't know. Well, don't worry, we'll get to that. Let me play the rest of the story.
Suspect. He is 33-year-old Jaheim Warren
Went
of
got a new
Prospect
fade
Park,
and
New
everything.
Jersey. He was arrested today in New Jersey by a task force that includes the NYPD and the U.S. Marshals Service. Now, police say that it was about 4:45 in the morning on October 29th when 23-year-old Leslie Torres was walking on West 46th Street by herself. Now, the suspect had been randomly following her. They did not know one another. Police say he attacked her and strangled her right on the sidewalk. Now, at this particular time, the young woman then was rushed to the hospital. Now, last week, she died, sadly, from her injuries. Now, police are also saying that this suspect has a long criminal history in New Jersey and that he served time in prison in New Jersey for drug dealing. But
Oh, he definitely fit the description. He served time for selling drugs to his community, probably a former rapper. Listen, random woman walking down the street. He spots her, got her, put her in a chokehold, and she didn't even die immediately. She had to suffer through it, and then she died later from her injuries. He put her in a full Nelson, get his hand around her neck, lock it in with the other hand, got that big Popeye forearm with the vein going through it like that right there, lock her in. And you know this ain't the first time that he did it, right? This is the first time that he got caught. This ain't the first time. I've been watching Mindhunters and Special Victims Unit on Netflix. And what they said is that this is a progressive thing, that this is not the first time. Usually when they get caught, it's not the first time that they did it. So ladies, let me tell y'all, be very, 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 guys got to be careful. I keep my head on a swivel everywhere I go. Who that over there? You know him? You don't know him? Start putting your hands in your pockets. You got to keep your head on a swivel. I don't know where y'all think that it's safe at, but I keep telling y'all story after story, situation after situation, that you have to absolutely, positively be safe. It is not safe in these streets for y'all. Some random man can walk up, you think he's trying to talk to you, hey, and then he put you in the full Nelson, no words, just choke you to death. All they see is you on camera. You never even knew him, but now he know you. All right? Be careful out in these streets, ladies. And then last but not least, argument breaks out at a grocery store. Now you got one dead and one in the hospital over in LA. We're going to go all the trifecta. Chicago, New York, LA. Check it out.
Breaking news, a fight inside a Ralph's grocery store turned deadly in Sun Valley.
KTLA 5's Carlos Herrera live on scene with the details. Carlos, good morning.
Chris and Megan, good morning. Detectives arrived here at scene just a short time ago. This late night shooting leaving one person dead, at least another injured.
Hold on. Shaking this out. Check this out. Geo Black, longtime supporters show, you know I love you, but I got to bring you to the front of the congregation. That's messed up. She was probably talking slick, though. Y'all all right out there? It's Wednesday. It's hump day. Y'all, we don't want to do this in the beginning of the week. We don't, do I need to say anything, or are we just going to continue on with the show? Because we got a show to get through. I want y'all to lock in for the next couple hours. I just want to make sure that we all on the same page and that we not in crash dummy mode today. I just want to make sure that we all on the same page. Look. You know, I am a equal opportunity smoke giver. I don't differentiate, and if you a crash dummy, I'm gonna call you a crash dummy. I hold men accountable. I hold women accountable. I hold kids accountable. I believe kids need that belt. I believe that women don't get accountability enough, and I think that men are really feminine nowadays, and we need to get back to the core of who we are. I'm never gonna victim shame. Somebody died. I don't know if y'all have watched too many movies and y'all just completely insensitive or desensitized to what's going on in society today. Listen, there is nothing that a woman can say to me. Don't touch me. Don't put your hands on me. There is nothing that a woman or a man can say to me outside of threatening my life, and I actually fear for my life, that would cause for me to actually take yours. Come on, man, listen. We need to think and filter through. Y'all got to put that filter on your brain before you put something in the chat and say some wild stuff like this, bro. What do you mean she was probably talking slick? What does that mean? Honest to God, man. Come on, man. Look, man, that's why our culture is so messed up, bro. Somebody said, you really think he didn't know her, Anton? I don't care if he knew her or not. He choked her out, and you need to keep your hands to yourself. You can't choke somebody out at 5 in the morning. What's wrong with us? Are we all right? Y'all all right out here in these streets? All right. Come on, y'all. Let's focus.
injured and hospitalized, and a third person, a suspect, still outstanding this morning. Take a look. It all happened inside this Ralph's here at the Canyon Plaza off of Laurel Canyon Boulevard. You see the police activity inside the store. It's yellow tape this morning. Police say one of the victims shot the suspects acting in self-defense. Let's get you over to some pictures shot overnight. Authorities say it was around 11:40 p.m. when two men were inside the Ralph's. A few minutes later, they were approached by three suspects. A verbal argument quickly escalated to a physical fight between the two groups, and that's when one of the victims fired a handgun, striking two of the three suspects, sparking chaos inside.
Hey, y'all wonder why we've created a culture where don't nobody trust each other, because don't nobody got each other's best interest at heart. And I'm still talking about the last story. Then we'll be sitting there saying, oh, women are too mean. I'm starting to teach, you know what I'm saying, my daughter and the women that surround me, hey man, don't even respond to nobody. Just keep walking. Because the mentality is like that. What you mean? I owe you an explanation, or you owe yourself to keep your hands to yourself? Then y'all be wondering why women be like, oh, they don't want to respond. Bad attitudes. Now I'm starting to see why. And I don't advocate for a woman to have a bad attitude. I actually believe that a woman leading with her femininity is her secret weapon to making sure she get out of any negative situation. But sometimes you just got monsters, and people have become so entitled. Next thing you know, y'all gonna be saying, well, I spoke to her. She should have gave me the box. Come on, man. We got to do better than that, bro. We got to do better.
The store among employees and those shoppers as well. Officers then learned one of the suspects was eventually taken to Pacifica Hospital just a few minutes away by an unknown person. Officers attempted CPR on that man, but investigators say he died at the scene. A second suspect was also transported, now in stable condition after being shot in the leg. He is in police custody as well. The third suspect ran away from the scene, still at large this morning. Investigators have very little information about him. He's only described as a man who's in his 20s. The two initial victims were not hospitalized. How this all started and why, that's still a mystery that police are trying to solve. They don't know if this was gang-related. Police...
Hey, man, listen, don't be out here arguing in the streets with nobody. That's the moral of the story, because everybody's strapped. I know everybody think that they tough. Everybody want to throw hands. Everybody took boxing classes. The only reason you need to be taking boxing lessons is if you're trying to lose some weight and you're trying to have it as a sport. If you're taking boxing lessons in order to square up, I hope you can punch through bullets, because everybody's strapped, including me. Everybody's strapped. I'm not about to be arguing with you, man. I ain't never going to see you again in my life. Don't feel the need to have to prove yourself to people you're never going to see again in your life. Me, as a public figure, I seen somebody in the comments one time and they say, yeah, man, I seen Anton in his white Porsche and I ice grilled him and he just pulled off. I was thinking to myself, first of all, I ain't never seen nobody ice grilling me in my Porsche, right? Secondly, nigga, what is you ice grilling me for? You don't even know me. Of course I pulled off. Hey, man, look at that crash dummy. He ain't got nothing to lose. He ain't even got no bumper on the front of his car. And he poor, and his windows is dirty. I don't want to talk to him. He looked like a demon in that car. Yeah, I'm probably going to pull off. If that did happen, I'm probably going to pull off. That's a fact. Yeah, man. I couldn't believe it. I read it in the comments one time. A guy said, man, I pulled up on Anton in Detroit, and he was in his Porsche, and I ice grilled him, and he didn't do nothing back. What you want me to do? How should I handle that? How should I handle that outside of making sure that I get back home to my family? Because I don't even know you. You don't got no bumper on your car. The windows is dirty. It looked like it's smoke in there. I can smell the trees from a mile away. And the chances are that the police is going to pull you over before I ever get out the car anyway. So let them handle you and take you to prison, because I'm sure you already got a record. People used to be getting mad at me when we was doing Fight Club, and they would say, yeah, man, I pull up on you. I was in your city. I asked around and didn't nobody know you. What? What is that supposed to mean? Am I supposed to be out, hey, everybody, you want me to take out a billboard? Ladies and gentlemen, that's your quick hits. Oh, we got to grow up. Y'all be having kids. Y'all be having families. Y'all have people that depend on y'all. Y'all going in and out of jail. Yo, chick got to fend for herself. She calling me, talking about, Anton, can you help me out with the rent? I want to come sit on the black couch, and I keep telling her no, and she's saying my man ain't nothing. I want to be around you. I said, I can't do that. I can't do that. Remember that. Listen, the next time that you crashing out and you got a good girl at home, I'm building a new studio that holds more people. I'm building a new studio that holds more people. She might want to come to the show. I might give her some free tickets. You know what? Yo, man ain't acting right. Here's some free tickets to December 14th in Detroit. You sitting in the county, we having a show. She want to get the VIP tickets to come and meet us backstage. I don't know what's going to happen. The next time that you feeling like you're going to crash out, remember that when you in the county, it might be the same date as coming to meet me in Detroit. And then she might want to come and hang out in the studio. And then she feeling some type of way. She got a babysitter. What J. Cole say? I ain't even going to get into it. I ain't going to get into it. All right, y'all. Listen, y'all ready to get into the show? Let me read somebody, because it ain't going to be me. It may be another Anton. It may be Antoine from AntonDaniels.com. It may be Andrew from AndrewDaniels.com that's holding on to your girl. I don't know. It's a representation of your bad behavior that's then going to get you crashing out over a person. Anyways, you going to take care of her for us? I got you. We going to make sure that she a part of the crew. And she going to love us for it too. Night J says 95% of black women and 78% of black men. 88% of black women, not 98, 88%, but that's still high. Voted for Cam. We need to break these people away from the Democrats. We working on them one by one, Night J. Night J, we working on them. Voting to be slaves is demonic work. My heart is heavy. Don't worry about it. We got work to do. That's a part of the kingdom. Kingdom culture. Magic Don Twan says, I'd give more, bouncing back after a major L. Don't worry about it. We gonna get there, Ray. Ray says, Geo Black wear black Air Forces. Fade TV says Honey hosting an AK. Oh, y'all didn't tell me that. And said, hella time she fleeing the country if Trump wins. She's still here though. And now says America is a misogynistic country. But she's getting paid $2 million a year just to feminize and doesn't sound misogynist to me. These women is overly feminist. Sean says, Geo got the black Air Forces mentality going on this morning. My condolences to the young lady. That's all we should be saying. Is God bless her family. We praying for the family. I joined the Patreon. You cold, Anton. We need you in the hood. No, the hood gonna have to get on the internet in order to get this Patreon work. I was just watching a budget video. My pops ain't even teach me how to budget. But I'm going to bring everybody along from intermediate, beginner, all the way to expert. We got everything that you need inside of the Bag Chasers. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Fight Club #1. Austin Trainings is on YouTube giving firearms and awareness training. He's a dope young brother in Nashville. Shout out to my Nashville people and shout out to the new Bag Chasers. Y'all ready to get started with the show? All right, let's lock in. First things first, just like he said he was going to do. I can always appreciate, you know why I like Trump? You know why I like Trump? Because he do what he say he going to do and he mean what he say. I always can appreciate when people are authentic. I don't ask you to be my friend. I'm not asking you to not get boxed. I'm not even asking you what goes on in your bedroom. What I am asking you to do is make sure you make a good business decision and you align with what you said you was going to do when you said that you was going to run for office. And too many times we've seen politicians promise us things that they said that they was going to do, but they don't do it. And as expected, and I expected, and I said this yesterday, when the Democrats lost the House, when Republicans won the House and the Senate and the presidency, and they swept it, and I was using Eric D's, I don't know if Eric D is here today, but I'm sure that he is. I was using Eric D's, participating in the chat because the chat is my co-host for the show. And I said, listen, no excuses. Now that we control all three branches, there is no excuse for us not to get things done in these next 2 to 4 years leading up to the midterms. That I want to see results. I want to see them. I don't want to see no empty promises. I don't want to see nothing from the Republican Party. That we going to hold them accountable and we're going to be absolutely transparent with what goes on. And he started picking his chief of staff, his board czar, and all of this, and he's gotten very, very tough on everything. And as promised during the election, he said, listen, I am going to appoint Elon Musk, and I wasn't expecting Vivek, but this is a phenomenal pick. As he said, I'm going to appoint Elon Musk to head up this government efficiency task force in order to make sure that we audit every level of the federal government to ensure that our tax dollars is going to work for us and it's not being wasted. I love it. Before I even see the video, I love it. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. The likes is really low. I asked y'all to hit a like for the algorithm before y'all come into the show. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And if you've been here more than once, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Let's rock.
Okay, we're following more breaking Trump transition news at this hour. President-elect Trump tapping Tesla CEO Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy to lead a, quote, Department of Government Efficiency. He's also confirmed just moments ago what we would have been reporting, that he will name South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem to be Secretary of Homeland Security. NBC's Vaughn Hillier joins us tonight now with the latest on all this. Vaughn, obviously the big news right now that just happened moments ago, Elon and Vivek Ramaswamy. What do we know about this new government agency, and how will it work?
Exactly. A lot has developed since the start of the show, Tom. For Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, this idea of the Department of Government Efficiency, number one, exactly how is it created? What does it actually look like? Is there a budget and a staff behind it? These details are very unclear. What I can tell you, though, is that Elon Musk, over the course of the last week, has been a consistent presence at Mar-a-Lago ever since Donald Trump's election. But even before Election Day, Elon Musk had been on the campaign trail on behalf of Donald Trump. And Elon Musk had talked about the fact that the U.S. annual federal budget is about $6 trillion. And he had been telling crowds that he would be able to cut $2 trillion out of the federal budget, which would be slashing it by 1/3 annually. And Donald Trump himself had echoed this on the campaign trail, saying that he would put Elon Musk in charge of government efficiency and bring him in his administration to do just that. And now, 1 week after his election, he is now promising to go forward with that campaign promise. And now when we're talking about $2 trillion out of the federal budget, we're talking about staggering numbers that Elon Musk, even himself, admitted would be causing hardships for Americans on the outset. But
Shannon B says Vivek being appointed is not going to be good. He is going to get rid of a lot of jobs, and these are jobs that a lot of black people do. Well, then that means you need to learn a new skill. The government is not supposed to be there to give you a job. You know what I'm saying? What do you mean? So that means, all right, so let's think about what you're saying right now, Shannon. You're saying that taxpayers should be paying a lot of black people to do things that they don't even need to do in order to make sure that they have a job just because we are part of the government. The way that you lower taxpayer costs is by reducing the amount of money that go into things that's not best for us. And so you have to have a dual level approach because you can't have one without the other, right? In order for us to create an environment that helps the United States of America thrive, we need to reduce the amount of money that people have to pay in order to sustain this nation, right? In addition to that, look. If you have a company, if you have a household where you got a whole bunch of people leeching off of you, and then everybody that's at the top or everybody that's doing things efficiently got to pay for everybody at the bottom just so that they can stay in there, do you do it, or do you start to make adjustments and say, hey, you need to be responsible for yourself, you need to be responsible for yourself? Let's be clear. It's a lot of stealing that's going on in the government. It's a lot of inefficiencies. It's a lot of things. If the government was ran like a business, we wouldn't be overly taxed. When you get your paycheck at the end of the week, do you feel comfortable? Do you feel comfortable when you get your paycheck at the end of the week and everything is gone and after you leave, it's all messed up? If we're going to pay down the national debt, if we're going to invest more in the United States and its infrastructure, if we're going to have to become more efficient. We cannot just have waste going out the door. Now, let me say this. This should not be a bipartisan issue. This should not be something that Democrats or Republicans argue over. We should have a lean government that does not impede into our lives overly or more than they need to. And we need to eliminate the majority of these inefficiencies that we have. And there's no better person to do it, or two people to do it, than the two businessmen, Vivek Ramaswamy, self-made, and Elon Musk, to go in and make sure that we're operating the way that we're supposed to operate. I 100% agree with what they're doing. And I think that the number one thing that we need to do in order to fix our finances is audit the government. They audit you. So we need to just let the bloat just stay in there. They audit you. Make enough money every year. They're gonna go through your finances with a fine-tooth comb. What you mean? You bought a pencil. So they can audit us, but we can't audit them. We finally got somebody to drain the swamp, literally, and we can start to hold our government officials. See, I'm not even as gung-ho about the efficiency of the government as I am about exposing all of this stuff that's going on behind the scenes, that they're stealing your money and it's not supposed to be. I want to know what's happening behind the scenes. And I think that also there needs to be governors and mayors that follow in Donald Trump's footsteps and audit their own minor local governments to make sure that we're operating efficiently.
That it would be financially beneficial for the country in the long term. Of course, we're talking about the federal budget. You're talking about defense spending, immigration spending. You're talking about Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. There's no details that have been provided here at this time, but Donald Trump suggesting that the two men, Ramaswamy and Musk, will have until mid-2026 to figure this out and bring efficiency to the federal government. Again, very little details as to exactly what that means at this point in time.
You know, Vaughn, do you think, and I know you would be speculating here, but do you think Elon Musk and Vivek maybe are, I don't know if the word is disappointed, right? But they were such staunch supporters of President-elect Trump. And I know, Elon Musk spoke about this agency. This was a big thing for him. But for Vivek, I mean, weren't there other ideas and plans for him?
That was the question mark as to where Vivek Ramaswamy would potentially go. But though he was also in discussion as potentially an appointment to fill J.D. Vance's Ohio U.S. Senate seat. He's Ohio resident himself. And so I think for Vivek Ramaswamy to actually be tied to the world's richest man, Elon Musk, it's not necessarily a bad gig, depending on exactly where it goes and how long of a leash that they have. But again, so much of the budget is going to also rely on lawmakers and the Republican majorities on Capitol Hill to sign off on said budget. So this is going to be complicated, an intense few months, I think we should expect.
And I'm very excited. Let me give Trump a round of applause. This is what we call radical change that we like. We've seen radical change from the left, and we didn't like that because then they start telling us that boys need to go into girls' bathrooms and all of this other type of stuff. This is the radical change that we like because we want to hold our government leaders accountable, and we're tired of the same old. We don't want to see that. We don't want to see people continuing to say, we need to tax this, we need to tax that. Nah, we're not doing that no more. In addition to that, Trump also appointed Marco Rubio as the Secretary of State, which I think is another great idea. Check it out.
The latest on President-elect Trump announcing some key nominations for his cabinet, including Florida Senator Marco Rubio. Rachel Scott is tracking it all in West Palm Beach for us this morning. Good morning, Rachel.
Hey, Michael, good morning. Yes, we are starting to get a clearer picture about who will be responsible with carrying out Donald Trump's campaign promises. The president-elect moving quickly to fill out his cabinet and his administration, and we are learning this morning he's expected to name Florida Senator Marco Rubio to be the next Secretary of State. Overnight, President-elect Donald Trump moving fast to fill out his national security team. Sources telling ABC News Senator Marco Rubio will be nominated for Secretary of State.
Marco is a big winner, beautiful winner from Florida.
The Florida senator sits on the Foreign Relations and Intelligence Committees, pushing a hardline agenda on China, Iran, Venezuela, and Cuba. Once one of the president-elect's fiercest rivals, who Trump mocked as Little Marco, he repeatedly joined the former president on the campaign trail this year.
We are tired of living in a country that is no longer dreaming big, but that is going to change tomorrow, and you're going to help change it.
Sources also say Trump will name Congressman Mike Waltz as his national security advisor. The retired Green Beret served multiple combat tours, including in Afghanistan. A known hawk on China, he supported aid to Ukraine but urged Europe to step up more.
With a war going on in their doorstep, there are still over half the countries that haven't met their minimum, and he's going to push them hard, as he should.
Waltz is the second House lawmaker Trump is tapping, picking Elise Stefanik for UN ambassador. The former president also turning to a former House member, Lee Zeldin of New York, to lead the Environmental Protection Agency, already preparing to weaken protection against climate change.
Day one and the first 100 days, we have the opportunity to roll back regulations that are forcing businesses to be able to struggle.
But nothing says more about Trump's priorities than his second and third personnel picks, naming former Immigration and Customs Enforcement Chief Tom Homan as his border and deportation czar, and his former senior advisor Stephen Miller as Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy.
America is for Americans and Americans only.
Both played key roles in Trump's hardline immigration policies last time, including family separation. Both now set to fulfill his campaign promise of the largest mass deportation in U.S. history.
I want everybody to be clear. It's going to be a targeted enforcement operation concentrating on criminals and national security threats first.
President-elect Donald Trump will travel to Washington tomorrow to meet with President Biden at the White House, an invitation that Trump himself did not extend to President Biden just 4 years ago. And sources tell us that incoming First Lady Melania Trump will not be traveling with the president-elect on this trip, so there will be no.
Yeah, they also said that Joe Biden had extended a thing where, they was saying that, hey, come on over to the White House. And she said, no, I don't have dinner with the ops. Melania said, we don't have dinner with the ops. When Obama, it's funny because I was reading about Melania and all of that stuff, and I started to do a little quick hits on it, but I was like, nah, it's not worth having a conversation about. When Trump first got into office in 2016, they said that Obama and Michelle Obama had such a bad attitude that they didn't even invite them to even be able to come to the White House until the very last minute. That they didn't invite them or advocate for them to come to the White House as traditionally is done until the very last day. They said that they treated her like she was crap, that they treated Trump like he was crap, and they had a nasty negative attitude about the fact that Trump had won and become president of the United States of America instead of Hillary Clinton. So this time, and they said that Biden and Jill Biden had gave them the cold shoulder and all of that stuff. So this time, when they invited her to the White House, she said, I don't need no tours. I already know what the White House looked like. We'll be back in there in a little bit. Me, Barron, Trump, Vivek, Elon, Byron, Tom, Tulsi, we all coming back to the White House. And we coming back with size 17 shoes, and we going to kick that dough in. Let me give another round of applause for Trump for running it up and making the right decision and appointing Elon and Vivek to lead the government, the Department of Government Efficiency. And I seen Yakar and several other people inside of the chat says that it's an acronym and that it actually spells Doge, such as Dogecoin, Department of Government Efficiency. That was an Elon Musk play. Yeah, I had caught that. I seen that when I first seen this story come out. Let me read some of these super chats and then we'll continue on with the show. Shout out to that. I absolutely am so excited about this new administration that's coming in. Pam, shout out to Pam. I love you, Pam. What's up, Amari? He says Trump's cabinet is really full of heavy hitters. The Dems are mad, but they'll be all right. They should have played their hand better. #Unity Party. Let me say this. I don't think that the Democrats is going to get into office for another 12 years, at least. If we keep delivering like this and executing on our promises that we promised the American people, ain't no way in the world that the Democratic Party might be almost over. I don't even see nobody in the Democratic Party that can come up and run for president next year that we would even think about. Who, Gavin Newsom? They just voted down basically Prop 47 by putting in Prop 36. They don't even like him in California no more. Cartier 82 says, according to social media, liberals want Biden to resign so that Cam can be president for a month. I would love for you to do a reaction video. That would make her look bad. That would make her look bad because it then makes her a DEI pick in real life and it just embarrasses her. Kuro, says the problem with the black community is business as a whole is looked at as charity. It's not about who offers the best product or services. It's help black businesses, no drive to be the best. You are 100% correct. I got to give you the hit for that. Devastator says, you seen what happened at one stock F30? Shout out to Devastator. I appreciate you. Thank you for holding me down. Let's continue on with the show. So, we got to hit on the migrant crisis, and then we're going to jump into Trump. Because Trump got some pretty radical views outside of appointing Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy to the government efficiency task force, okay? But we got to address this migrant crisis because the Biden administration is being advised to prepare themselves for an influx of people that are not supposed to be in this country coming to this country. Check it out.
Now to a News Nation exclusive as fears of an even larger migrant crisis grow ahead of Inauguration Day. With President-elect Donald Trump poised to reinstate mass deportations and changing immigration policies, people who have waited in Mexico for months for legal entry to the United States, they're afraid it's now or never, and border cities are bracing for that influx. News Nation's Jorge Ventura saw the rising desperation firsthand himself in Mexico, just across the border from Texas. Jorge, I'm just wondering what migrants are sharing with you, and are you seeing this surge materialize firsthand?
Yeah, so Marky, we've been hearing about this potential migrant surge ahead of January's inauguration. So our News Nation team did travel to Mexico to pay this negatives to get that firsthand look at this developing situation. And migrants say they are more desperate than ever to cross now.
After a long, dangerous journey through Mexico, this group of Venezuelan migrants feel like they are almost at the finish line. We arrived in a shelter right on the Mexican border and spoke with migrants who recently arrived in Piedras Negras who were able to get an appointment on the CBP-1.
How they able to charge their phone? That's the thing that I'm trying to understand. They got iPhones, they got Androids. How are they able to charge their phones? Where are they getting this internet access and who they paying their bill to? Where are they getting this? Where are they getting these devices from? Who they communicating with? And do they have, because I'm gonna tell you, when I go, I don't know how y'all do it. I know some people got Verizon, some people are still rocking with T-Mobile. I have AT&T. I've had AT&T since Apple basically announced an iPhone. And I've just been with AT&T and just evolving my plan to make sure that I'm getting the best plan. But when I go overseas or when I go to a different country, I got to do sometimes I got to call them or something like that, or it just automatically locks in where, hey, you got a different plan and stuff. So I'm trying to figure out, how are they getting Wi-Fi and how are they able to lock in to make sure that they're filling out the apps and that they're getting through the navigation, that they're using their Apple Maps? How are they doing this? You saying they're using WhatsApp. In order to use WhatsApp, you still got to have the internet. In order to use WhatsApp, you still got to have the internet. They got satellite phones. WhatsApp is their primary provider? Interesting.
App to enter the U.S. legally. This is a program that the Trump administration says they will put an end to. These migrants say that they feel like the lucky ones, but still feel they could be deported when Trump takes office.
The truth is, I am a little bit afraid, because the truth is that this man is, as we say, he's anti-immigrant. So the truth is that he scares me a little bit, but we're going with everything, with the faith of God alone.
Do you fear you could be deported by Donald Trump?
Yes. She promised all of us migrants not to stay, but a little bit of work.
But not all migrants here in Piedras Negras were able to get an asylum appointment to enter legally. For others, they feel like time is running out ahead of Trump's inauguration in January and say they must cross now. Here, a group of Venezuelan men make the decision to cross illegally through.
He got a brand new haircut. He got a taper. And who is his barber? Because I want to know who his barber is. They got brand new haircuts, tapers. And it's a group of men. Men are walking over here in droves, and they've been coming over here by the millions. What is this arduous journey that's preventing you from getting here when you're walking over with good haircuts and fresh, clean clothes and the new iPhones. They got iPhone 16s, crispy tapers.
The Rio Grande in an area where water levels aren't as high. The group of men say one last prayer before crossing. The men hang on to each other as currents in the Rio Grande start to pick up. The migrants do make it across the Rio Grande, but were met by Texas National Guard who blocked the group's attempts to cross onto American soil. The guardsmen flexing their pepper ball guns at the migrants. One of the migrants can be seen attempting to enter by going through the razor wire, but couldn't manage to get through. Another group attempts to cross illegally through the Rio Grande. A woman can be seen holding a baby while trying to get through the strong currents. But the group was also blocked by Texas authorities from crossing onto American soil. Texas authorities doubling down on Operation Lone Star to manage the migrant surge. Here, another group of migrants is blocked from entering as a Texas National Guardsman aims his purple ball gun at the migrants. Scenes like this on the border are expected to continue until Trump's inauguration in January.
And Texas authorities say they want to double down on that Operation Lone Star. But, Marky, we continue to see those groups continue to come in. We're actually at a smuggling hotspot, so we are expecting some big groups to be moved in earlier this morning. So Texas authorities say they're doing all they can, but saying that migrants are still slipping in.
Yeah, some of them rethinking their game plan now that the door's about to close. Jorge Ventura, live from Texas this morning.
Let me go over to another one. Now that we have Tom Homan as the borders are, it's a lot of retired Border Patrol agents. They say that they're coming back to serve the Trump administration.
We got more of this. Roll it. That's the first thing on day one. Start deportations of what? Known illegal migrant criminals?
Absolutely, because this administration is not doing it. This administration claimed, they told ICE, you're only going to deport those convicted of the most serious crimes. However, you look at the numbers, compared to the Trump administration, the removal of criminal aliens by this administration is down 74%.
Well, Texas Public Safety Lieutenant Chris Olivares joins me now. Lieutenant, criminals will be deported first, right? Let's confirm that. They're out first.
Exactly. That should be the priority. That is the priority right now, at least from what we know, moving forward, going into the new year, is to prioritize removing criminals that have violent criminal backgrounds, that have orders of removal. Those should be prioritized to be removed before anything else. And of course, those are the public safety and national security threats, as Tom Homan just laid out right there. That should have been the priority with this current administration, is to remove those threats. But unfortunately, as he mentioned also, we have seen just a very low number of removals as far as criminals in the past 4 years. So that's why we need this change. We need to remove those that will cause or do pose a significant threat to public safety and national security. So we are definitely, in support of that as far as here in Texas. And we're happy to see that we're going to have some change in leadership moving forward that's actually going to address those type of threats.
But do you?
The people over there in Arizona and California, because California overwhelmingly started to swing towards Trump, they need to be put on notice, because this can't just happen in Texas. You can't just hold it down in Texas. And obviously it's going to change across the board once Trump gets into office. But still, for this entire almost 4 years, what you've seen is that they have adjusted and said, okay, well, we can't get in over Texas. We're going to head over to Arizona. We're going to head over to California, and we're going to cross that way. And so, how can you not deport people who are a threat to national security and criminals? Criminal behavior is you having a mindset to cross over here illegally in the first place, and you know better. That's what's called illegal. And then they get over here and they say, oh man, you can't deport me. I done been over here for too long. But you came in illegally. You came in illegally. If you have ill-gotten gains, okay? Let's say you go over and you rob a bank, and then you leverage that money in order to start a business. Well, guess what? They still have the ability to come and seize and then arrest you for robbing a bank, and you can't get your startup money from robbing a bank in order to have a successful business. I don't know what the dispute is.
Do you know where they are? The criminal illegal. Do you know where they are? And are you going to have to rely on ICE to go get them?
Exactly, Stuart. It's not going to be an easy task. It's not going to happen from one day to the next. The thing is, a lot of these criminals you're not going to find them, right? It's going to take some time. It's going to be very tedious. That's why it's very important that a lot of these states and cities cooperate with us.
Somebody said they're not illegal, though. They were let in. So if you don't come in here the right way and you cross over the border illegally, meaning that you didn't go through a port of entry, you did not file the proper paperwork, you didn't wait your turn, you didn't apply for a green card, you didn't come over here on a visa, none of that. You just came over. You're not here illegally. You can't come over and then apply for asylum and say that I didn't come over here illegally. You still came over here illegally. I'm not really sure where we all disagree at. Where we at? Where we at, y'all? Where we at, y'all? Reg, we on the same page? Let me know.
The ICE cooperate with the new administration, especially when you take some of these individuals to jail and place detainers on them for ICE. It's a lot easier for ICE to remove these individuals once they're in jail. Now, when they're not in jail, it's a much more dangerous environment now for ICE. Now it's more tedious for them to look for these individuals and have them removed. That's why we need this cooperation from everyone.
Okay. Shout out to
of
my
course,
girl
in Texas,
home
Tom Homan, the
lifestyle.
new administration, will have a great ally in Texas with Governor Abbott. We are doing it right now. We are trying to locate some of these criminals, some of these gangs that have committed crimes in Texas, arrest them, place them in jail, and place these detainers on them for ICE.
It sounds like morale has improved dramatically with Trump's win. Listen to this.
Morale is through the roof. We received hundreds of calls, texts, emails, just saying how happy the agents are. There's a lot of agents that had originally said that they would retire if President Trump did not win. And now those same agents are saying they're going to hold back on their retirement because they want to serve under this administration again, because they know exactly how it was during his first administration. They know this one's going to be even better.
And that's what happens when you have workers that are then supported by their bosses or the administration. They then have greater morale. You have less turnover and people won't retire and try to get the heck up out of there because they don't feel like there's going to be any change. Because most of the people that work at the border, and I have a couple border patrol agents that I actually coach, and people that rock out with the Millionaire Morning Show, I'm sure it's more than what I'm able to identify. But they basically say during this last administration, their morale was low and they didn't even execute on their jobs as well as they could because they knew it would be for nothing. When you have people that actually believe in the vision of this administration, and inspiration and worker morale 100% affects what we have going on at the border, because these are people. These are people that wake up every day and they have to believe in what they do in order to do it, because they have some of the hardest jobs, some of the most dangerous jobs ever. And the fact that he was blocked at every twist and turn during his first administration, but the people still rocked with him and they wanted him back, shows you the difference between the Biden-Harris administration and the Trump-Vance administration.
Lieutenant, some people who resigned or retired from Border Patrol, we hear that they're coming back. They want to come back. That accurate?
You know, Stuart, I mean, the Border Patrol right now, I mean, their morale is higher than it's ever been. Now they have actually something to look forward to, actually have some type of fulfillment in what they do every single day. I'm actually out here this morning working with Border Patrol, and I'm talking to some of the agents, and they're just excited to see what's going to come the next year. So even those that are retired, they do want to come back because they do want to actually help this administration carry out and advance their objective, and that is to go after some of these criminals and have them removed so we can have a safer country and obviously to secure our borders. So it's a great day. It's a great time for Border Patrol. They've needed this support for a long time now, and they haven't received it. So now they have something to look forward to going into the new year and actually the next 4 years. So, but again, it's going to be very challenging. But again, having that cooperation with Border Patrol and everyone else, it's going to make this job much successful and also much easier for us to do.
All right.
And here's the best part about this is that when you have the support of the people and the right thing, let me do this. I'm feeling a little inspired. I'm feeling a little inspired. Let me see something. Give me a second. A lot of y'all was here when I called my mom and I asked her, why are you voting for Kamala Harris? Let's see if I can get her on the phone. Because it's in my own family. It's in my family too, y'all. I haven't talked to my family since the election. I'm just kidding.
Your call has been forwarded to
Oh, now don't nobody wanna answer my phone call. Do y'all know that I have not had one phone call, not one, hey, how you doing? Not one text message, not nothing. Nothing. I haven't had one phone call from my family since the election. Let me call one of my brothers.
Yo, what up, though?
What up? You busy?
I mean, I'm at work.
Hey, so I'm on a live stream. Can you talk?
Okay, what's up?
No, I just wanted to know what your thoughts was about the election.
Hey, it is what it is. I was upset, disappointed within the first hour, but after that, it's just like, okay, life goes on.
What's the sentiment at your job?
The same, very much the same. Yeah, it's not a big deal. I mean, it's a big deal, but it's not. It's nothing that you should just be looming over and crying over. So, yeah, it's big that we can't handle.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just trying to figure out what the sentiment is. I said that I was going to follow up.
Yeah, it's disappointing. Of course, you whenever you lose, it don't feel good. But I can't sit around and mope, cry over spilled milk. Just got to move on.
Yeah. All right, just trying to figure out. You said what?
I'll be okay. It's the other people that,
What you mean by the other people?
You got like the Palestinians. They gon' find out real fast. The Latino men gonna find out. There's a lot of people gonna find out. They're in the F around stage now. So now it's time to find out.
I got you. All right.
Yeah, ain't no biggie though.
All right. Cool.
I lost, and I accept the loss, and just I'll be fine. I got money, so I'll be good.
Yeah, I feel you. All right.
Yeah. All right, bro.
All right, bye. I'm trying to tell you, listen. You know how they said 78% of black men actually voted for Kamala Harris? Well, I'm a part of that other percentage that didn't. I'm a part of the 22% that didn't. I am the 22% of my family that didn't vote for Kamala Harris. We all, and I have to be transparent, we all have it. We all have it inside of our family. We all have people. I'm not immune to it either. I got it just the same way that you got it. And I got it in my family too. I'm wondering if I can call. Oh, let me see. Who else can I call? I'm curious. Let me see something. Just want to see a couple more. Let me try one more person. Should I call one more person? No, I ain't going to do it. I ain't going to do it. Honestly, I was just curious because my family, for some reason, they just kind of disappeared. They ain't really said nothing to me. I thought that they would be like, hey, man, how you doing? What you got up for this holiday season? I ain't heard no plans for Thanksgiving. Am I still invited for Thanksgiving? Am I still invited to Thanksgiving? I might not even be invited to Thanksgiving. Where's Thanksgiving at this year? Are we having Thanksgiving? I think that they was planning something, maybe. Honestly, God, I don't know. I honestly don't know if I'm invited to Thanksgiving. It has been 8 days since the election. I have not talked to one person in my family in over 8 days. Actually, it's been 10 days since I talked to anybody that's a part of my family. I don't even know if they mess with me no more. I don't know if nobody mess with me and my family no more, bro. I am probably kicked out of the family. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even know if nobody was going to answer the phone. Mom ain't answering the phone. Mom, I still love you. Oh, man. Let me read. Hey, shout out to the Man King in the building. I appreciate you. He said $5 for the tuition. Thank you on Cash App. I rock with you. That's really sad. Anton, family should be better than politics. Family is politics. Shout out to Bobby Sherry Jr. holding me down on Cash App. I appreciate you also. Thank you. Everybody don't nobody mess with me. They said I'm blocked till 2028. The likes is a little low. Be Easy says you can Doug Emoffer as long as you identify as a woman when you do it. Well, Trump is going to put an end to that. I'm going to have that conversation shortly. The Green Monster says they got to put some Crocs in that water. Oh, man. Try Google Fi. Literally works worldwide. But do they got Google Fi? I hope Trump dismantled the Internal Revenue Service. Oh, that's a hell of a... Since they've been taking our money and using it incorrectly. You ain't lying. Presidential says we're just discovering how dependent Dems are on black voters. If more of us leave, they're cooked for the last 12 years. Phoenix. What Phoenix says, no background checks or info on these people. No other country allows this to occur. So why should the USA? We shouldn't. When I was trying to get over into Frankfurt, man, that line was so slow, they was vetting everything. How much better will it be when Mexicans are gone? I like Mexicans. I just like them legally. Democrats haven't been this mad since Lincoln freed the slaves. My own mother giving me the cold shoulder because of who I voted for. Talk to her. We all in the same boat. AD about to get a spanking. Yeah. Amari says Dems are upset that the GOP is in control, but not upset at the way that they mishandled everything during this administration. What did they expect? A loss. They knew that they was going to lose. Things will not be better if Mexicans left. Tax Smith says, well, listen, we'll see. Didn't Hamas just say, let's find peace after Trump wins? Whether it's sincere or not is another story, but it's something. Libra Justice says, I think they broke your plate. Probably. It's cool. I ain't tripping. It's crazy. I'm a loner. I ain't tripping about it. I like being by myself. I like sleeping by myself, all of that. It's crazy that my family group chat is very silent after elections and I ask crickets. You should be sending out messages and see who lead the group. Your mama is watching the show. Beats and Trucking, what up, though? I appreciate you for holding us down. I appreciate you. All right, well, listen. One of the things that y'all was talking about is gender affirmation. And I'm of the impression that I believe that Trump just ended the gender war. I'm under the impression that Trump just ended the gender war. Oh, you don't believe me? You don't believe me? Okay, well, let's talk about it. This is Trump amongst the litany of videos. Shout out to Beats and Trucking. I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly. Amongst the litany of videos that's now being released, him detailing different agendas that he has to address directly on day one when he gets into office. Check it out.
Here's my plan to stop the chemical, physical, and emotional mutilation of our youth. On day one, I will revoke Joe Biden's cruel policies on so-called gender-affirming care. Ridiculous. A process that includes giving kids puberty blockers, mutating their physical appearance, and ultimately performing surgery on minor children. Can you believe this?
I never was able to believe it, Don. Don, I never. Oh, man. Oh, man. Y'all don't like this. This is going to really, listen, if y'all thought that there was going to be a shortage of content after the election, y'all were absolutely wrong. If y'all thought that it was going to be a lack of meltdowns, that it was only going to be a week or 2 weeks after the election, I can't wait to see what y'all send me inside of my email of the people that are melting down because not only are they not able to, on a federal level, justify mutilating their babies in the form of contraception, but also on top of that, people are going to be melting down because Trump is doing away with you being able to transition your child legally in the United States of America. So that's the thing that we need to champion on a federal level. No more gender affirmations, believing what you want to believe. We're going to diagnose that the same way that we used to as an issue.
I will sign a new executive order instructing every federal agency to cease all programs that promote the concept of sex and gender transition at any age. I will then ask Congress to permanently stop federal taxpayer dollars from being used to promote or pay for these procedures and pass a law prohibiting child sexual mutilation in all 50 states. It'll go.
Oh. Are we making America great again, or are we making America great again? Are we making America great again, or are we making America great again? This guy has literally drawn a line in the sand. He's more Christian than your local pastor in your black church. I watched Jamal Bryant yesterday crash out on his pulpit the Sunday after Trump won his presidency, and he was up there preaching about women's ability to do what they want with their bodies. Trump is up here standing on business more than your local black pastor and saying, we not going to continue with the delusion. We going to go along with what God ordained to be at birth. A man is a man and a woman is a woman. And we not going to censor. We not going to do none of that stuff. He said, listen, you can live and sleep with who you want to sleep with, but we not going to let that affect the children. You're not going to do it. You're not going to do it.
Very quickly, I will declare that any hospital or healthcare provider that participates in the chemical or physical mutilation of minor youth will no longer meet federal health and safety standards for Medicaid and Medicare and will be terminated from the program immediately. Furthermore, I will support the creation of a private right of action for victims to sue doctors who have unforgivably performed these procedures on minor children.
Vanna Mae. He said no more funding, no Medicare, no Medicaid, no hospital funding, no donations, no nothing. You not going to be having these procedures done on children. Now, if you grown, and this is the part where you say that you lost your civil liberties, no, you didn't. If you're a grown person and you decide that you want to transition, pay for it yourself. Don't lean on the government to do so. We don't have to affirm your delusion no more. But if you're a child, you need to be protected. If you're a child, you need to be protected. This is what the government is here for. This is what the government is here for. They're here for the protection of our children and the American people. If you want to be an adult, do what you want to do, but pay for it yourself. But we're not going to extend payment for your delusion, number one. Number two, we're going to protect our children. And number three, if you are a doctor and you want to do this because you want to lose your medical license as a result of it, well, guess what? The government is going to allow for people to be able to come after you and sue you for everything that you got to do these unforgivable things and ruin somebody else's life. Trump is not messing around. I said it. I meant it. I said that he was going to be the most transformational president of all time. And there had to be a line drawn in the sand, because if you're going to be on this side, then we need to know where you at. If you're going to be on that side, then we need to know where you at. But the one thing that you can't say is that he ain't executing on exactly what he said that he was going to do. He is not. He is not just sitting there playing no games and just going to be in the office for the sake of himself. He's going after the bad actors. A lot of people thought that he was going to be president for himself. He never had to be president in the first place.
The Department of Justice will investigate Big Pharma and the big hospital networks to determine whether they have deliberately covered up horrific long-term side effects of sex transitions in order to get rich at the expense of vulnerable patients, in this case, very vulnerable.
Yeah, somebody said poor Dwayne Wade family. Dwayne Wade moved out of Florida because he felt like DeSantis was too hard on his family. Well, guess you can just move out of the United States of America. Don't he got a Li Ning, a Chinese shoe company contract? A Chinese shoe company? What people forgot is that they believed that Trump getting elected president only had to do with rich people getting tax cuts. It's not. I would argue that Democrats had just as much of a role in Trump becoming president of the United States of America as people that were tired of being broke. Why? Because when you kept on throwing it in front of our faces, when you put it in our books, when Obama was advocating for it, when Biden signed legislation for it, when they asked Kamala Harris the question of whether or not they were using taxpayer dollars in order to ensure that gender transformation surgery was happening in our prisons, and then men was going over there and being in women's prisons, guess what? That pushed a lot of people that thought that they was liberal back over the edge and saying, wait a minute, am I really liberal? Because see, it was one thing to say, hey man, do what you want to do inside of your own household, I don't care. But it's another thing when you got fired because you didn't want to acknowledge or take the training to make sure that you wanted to call somebody their pronouns because they wanted to be labeled as a transformer. See, it's one thing.
We will also investigate whether Big Pharma or others have illegally marketed hormones and puberty blockers which are in no way licensed or approved for this use. My Department of Education will inform states and school districts that if any teacher or school official suggests to a child that they could be trapped in the wrong body, they will be faced with severe consequences, including potential civil rights violations for sex discrimination and the elimination of federal funding. As part of our new credentialing body for teachers, we will promote positive education about the nuclear family, the roles of mothers and fathers, and celebrating rather than erasing the things that make men and women different and unique.
If you try to confirm as a teacher, a principal, or anything like that, if you trying to confirm in any way, shape, or form what these people are trying to say that kids are inside of school, let me play it again for y'all, because I want y'all to know what y'all dealing with.
As part of our new credentialing body for teachers, we will promote positive education about the nuclear family, the roles of mothers and fathers.
We are only going to promote nuclear. How can y'all not like this guy? How can you not like this guy? He said, we not promoting single parent homes. We are promoting the nuclear family. We're going to incentivize people to get married, to look at themselves as men and women, to have masculinity and femininity combined to become one great household that allows for our families to thrive and ultimately go back to the values. This is what people said Make America Great Again is. Are you hearing what I'm saying? He said, listen, I am not for tearing up the family like the Democratic Party has incentivized y'all to do for the entirety of y'all lives. Since you've been born, you have been in a place where they've been basically incentivizing you to break up your home, and you keep saying a man is a woman and a woman is a man and all of that. And no, he said, listen, I am promoting the nuclear family. When he said Make America Great Again, everybody thought that they was talking about money. He's not. He's talking about everything that was great about America that put us in this position to ultimately be able to capitalize and get the money too. It's family. It's core values. It's being able to make sure that we don't acknowledge delusion, but go back to free speech, that we not censored no more, that they're not trying to take our guns, that we not giving more money outside of the United States of America than you are putting it into people, that we not overly taxed, that we can make our businesses great again, that we can pour into ourselves. It's not about a handout. It's about freedom. That's what this campaign was about. Making America Great Again is about freedom, the freedom to do what you want to do, but don't actually use taxpayer dollars in order to justify your lifestyle or your behavior. You do what you want to do, just be accountable for it. We're not going to protect you from yourself. We're not going to continue to affirm your delusion, and we don't have to no more. This is about not getting fired because I don't want to see you kissing your boyfriend because I don't want to see him kissing his girlfriend. Neither one of them is good for the culture when it comes to corporate America. What you talking about? I don't feel like I'm going to call you by your name. No more sassiness on the pulpit. No more change in children's genders. Making America great again is more than money. That's what the Democratic Party don't get. It's more than money. It's not about the money. It's about the core of what it is that we are as Americans that ultimately is going to translate into us being able to get to the money. We don't want EV. We don't want to be mandated on EVs. EVs is cool. I like them both. I like internal combustion engines and I like EVs. I think that EVs serve a particular purpose. Internal combustion engines serve a particular purpose. But don't nobody want to be made to drive a microwave. I just so happen to like microwaves. Some people like ovens. Some people like air fryers. We want V8s. We want big V8s with superchargers and twin turbos on them and intercoolers, and we want everything that's good about it. And sometimes they hybrid, and sometimes, listen, let the market decide. Let the market decide. No, nobody want to be made to do it based off of the government, and then you forcing your views and your agendas on us, and we got to acknowledge your delusion. Get the hell out of here.
Federal funding. As part of our new credentialing body for teachers, we will promote positive education about the nuclear family, the roles of mothers and fathers, and celebrating rather than erasing the things that make men and women different and unique. I will ask Congress to pass a bill establishing that the only genders recognized by the United States government are male and female.
Oh, that is going to make the liberal people mad, mad, mad. That is going to make the liberals mad. Said, hey, man, the only genders that we recognize is male and female. That way, when we get on Monday nights and I ask a simping man, hey, man, what is a woman? Whatever it is that you identify. Okay, well, then that means that we need to go ahead and commit you to the insane asylum, because the only thing that the United States of the Americas recognize on January 20th is male and female. That's it. That's it. No more losing your jobs over pronouns.
And they are assigned at birth. The bill will also make clear that Title IX prohibits men from participating in women's sports.
Ladies, we got one for you too. We got one for you too. Now you ain't got to worry about Joanna James dunking on your head in sports. Now your kids ain't got to worry about getting their face crashed in by a little boy that said that he want to be a girl. What more do you want from him? What more do you want? He hasn't even been in office a second time yet. And I absolutely, positively believe that Trump deserves to be on a Mount Rushmore of the greatest presidents of all time. I absolutely believe that Trump is going to be considered one of the greatest presidents of all time, 10 times better than Obama ever was. 10 times better than Obama ever was. Trump is going to be considered one of the greatest presidents of all time. Mount Rushmore, certainly the greatest president of our lifetime.
And we will protect the rights of parents from being forced to allow their minor child to assume a gender which is new and an identity without the parent's consent. The identity will not be new, and it will not be without parental consent. No serious country should be telling its children that they were born with the wrong gender, a concept that was never heard of in all of human history. Nobody's ever heard of this, what's happening today. It was all when the radical left invented it just a few years ago. Under my leadership, this madness will end.
Shout out to Trump, man. I got to give Trump a round of applause. Honest to God, I have to give him a round of applause. I don't know how y'all on the fence about this one. I don't know. If you are a person that actually believes in traditional family values, if you are a person that has ever went to church in your life, if you are a Christian or whatever, and listen, shout out to my sassy listeners, because I understand that I might have some sassy listeners. I don't discriminate against the people that listen sassy. I invite Democrats to listen. We are not a people that discriminate against you from a human perspective, but the fact of the matter is that is your choice. That is not a right. That is your choice. That is not a right. I have a choice of whether or not I want to get married, but that is not my right. It is not, I don't have to force upon you to acknowledge who my wife is. That is not anything that you have to do. That is something that I choose to be a part of. In the same way, listen, bust it down, lay on your stomach, be a bottom, be a top, do whatever you want to do. Now, I don't have to necessarily agree with it, but I'm not going to dehumanize you as a result of it. Just don't tell me about it because I'm not interested in knowing what goes on in your bedroom. All I'm saying is this. You as an adult have the right to do what you want to do with yourself. If you want to tattoo your face all black, be my guest. Just don't sit there and try to get me to affirm that you not crazy because I'm going to be looking at you like you stupid. That's my right. I can look at you as you like you dumb. You can look at me like I'm dumb because I don't have no tattoos on my face. We all in the same boat, but stop telling us what we need to think and stop programming us and stop spilling all of your craziness onto these kids. That's all I'm saying. Do what you want to do. Lay on your stomach, kick your feet in the air, jump on the live stream, talk to your people, whatever. I'm just not going to confirm that you not crazy when you come up. And we all going to have a good time. And I'm going to still teach you when you join the Bag Chasers. I'm not going to discriminate. I'm going to teach you how to get this money. We're going to have stock club. We're going to have block club. We're going to do all of that. If you come to a meetup, we show love to everybody. What up, dog? That's what we going to do, baby. Shout out to Trump. Killing the game. We coming right back with Trump right after we read some of these super chats. All right? Shout out to y'all and y'all boyfriend. If you got a boy, if you a man and you got a boyfriend, who am I to tell you different? That's you. I bet my daddy Trump was going to win. I pulled up to get my money and he ain't want to talk to me afterwards. No cap made my girl's entire family into right-wingers. It was a tough task, but we pushing. Wear your MAGA hat to Thanksgiving dinner. I don't even know if I'm invited. I don't even know where Thanksgiving is. The rebirth of America feels phenomenal. Berta's baby boy says, T-Unit, we don't play that. T-Unit, huh? We don't play around. Magnetar 17 says, here's an example of fraud and waste and abuse. 2013 Army Chief Staff General Odierno said Army didn't need $436 million worth of Abrams tanks. Congress insisted on making the Army buy them. That's because they dirty. A 16-year-old with a BBL is wild. Tell me about it. I don't even I was apprehensive about letting my daughter get earrings. Like, yes, they say, hey, Anton, it's okay for girls to get earrings before they turn it. Okay, all right. Long as it ain't no earrings in your belly button. You know what I'm saying? Natashka, what up, Natashka? 1982, it's an agenda to weaken and destroy men. Not no more. We done with that. Shout out to Alan Trent, says they ain't breaking bread with you no more. Trump might be the greatest president ever. Agreed. Berta's baby boy says Trump coming in on a horse with a sword. Eric Welch says, should Dwayne Wade be charged with child abuse? Oh, man. Shout out to D. I appreciate you, Denise. Shout out to you. Malaya, Kia. I'm going to just call you Kia. Shout out to my girl Kia. Says, I think that a lot of these parents suffer from Murchison and proxy and want attention, cool points by saying that they have a trans child. Yeah, you know what? That could be true. You might have a point on that. MBK, when they made this announcement on the Shade Room, most people in the comments didn't disagree. Most black people don't disagree with this gender. Okay, then why they voted the other way then? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Elizabeth says, ain't nobody got time for these pronouns. So tell me, I'm going to just call you what your mama named you. Skinny Boy Django says, I remember when you called your mother for the first time, that might as well been my mother talking. Wow, we was not raised in a church. I was. The alphabet community is shaking in their pink go-go boots. And if we are forced to do EV, 75% of the big three American world price will lose their jobs. Denise goes on to say, it amazes me the ignorance of people on this immigration system. My president is coming home. There's only 2 genders. Talk about it, Denise. Tax Smith in the building says, feels good to have people finally concentrating on solving problems instead of who is blacker or more sexually different. AD, who is that guy spitting truth? Not madness. A.R. Smitty says, holy-ish, Trump is really making America great again. Coco Bourbon. goes on to say, people who voted blue do not care about their children. You cannot tell me otherwise. I agree. Well, make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. We only got 2,000 likes in here. We should be getting them likes way higher than 2,000 likes. Shout out to the conservative Christian. I'm going to read that super chat shortly. All right, well, let's pivot for a minute. And I'm going to read the Cash App shortly. Trump came back. He said we going back to back. We going back to back. I don't want to hear from y'all ever again. He said we going back to back. He came through and he said no more diversity, equity, and inclusion. We don't want no more Kamala Harrises at our colleges. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Let's rock.
Tuition costs at colleges and universities have been exploding, and I mean absolutely exploding, while academics have been obsessed with indoctrinating America's youth. The time has come to reclaim our once great educational institutions from the radical left, and we will do that. Our secret weapon will be the college accreditation system. It's called accreditation for a reason. The accreditors are supposed to ensure that schools are not ripping off students and taxpayers, but they have failed totally. When I return to the White House, I will fire the radical left accreditors that have allowed our colleges to become dominated by Marxists, maniacs, and lunatics.
When we start to really look at how we came to be and the changes, whether it be in our education system, our cultural norms, what we identify as a man, as a woman, our spiritual preferences, and whether or not the government can participate in what happens in our church and our pulpits, the very people that is on our pulpits determining how their congregation is supposed to vote, who they let inside of their choir, and whether or not they're going to take your tithes and offerings and buy themselves a new Bentley. When we start to look at our cultural norms, y'all, you have to remember that we are governed by the Constitution, which makes us a republic. In addition to that, and that's the foundation of who we are as America, as dirty as our history is, as much as we fought, clawed, had slavery, displacement from people that was originally here as far as the Indians and all of this other type of stuff, as dark as our history is, and this entire world is dark, there is not a country on the face of this earth that does not have a dark past. Some darker than others, depending on what it is that you want to identify as dark itself. But the fact of the matter is this: at some point, we have to evolve to become a better version of ourselves. And what has happened in this country is the foundation of it was governed by the church. And the church was the ones that we then established law behind. For example, you can't kill somebody or else you're going to jail. You can't steal from people. We even had a law at some point to where you wasn't even supposed to be able to fornicate. In some states, that's still on the books. But the fact of the matter is, the foundation of what you establish to be right and wrong has to be based off of something. It can't be based off of how you feel. It can't be based off of what you feel like you are that day. You can't sit there and tell me that you're a woman when you're a man, when you was born biologically a man, and you still got that thing swinging in between your legs because you still got man strength. And I don't want to fight you because then you're going to be saying I got beat up by a girl if I lose. But the fact of the matter is this: at some point, we decided to play God. At some point, we decided to play God. Have y'all ever seen that movie? It was called, I believe it's called Bruce Almighty. It was called Bruce Almighty. And I know that it may be some people in here that may not be believers, and that's cool. But you believe in something because you wouldn't even be here if you didn't. You believe in something. You believe in a higher power or something that came before you that ultimately put you in the place that you are today. Something in its foundation eventually evolved to where you're here right now. Right? And so if we believe in something, and if you've ever watched, for example, that movie Bruce Almighty, at some point we became so arrogant because we felt like we could do it better than what came before us to establish the foundation and all of the fighting and the things that they've gone through to establish what we've now known as the greatest nation on the face of this earth in the United States of America. And so when we said we want to make America great again, we had to go back to the thing that made us great back to the thing that we know is good, back to the thing that made us prosperous, back to strong family values, back to making sure that we educate ourselves and we don't turn into indoctrination camps, because that's exactly what our colleges have turned into. It has turned into a mind F. Your kid leave, go to college, they come back the next semester, next thing you know, they sassy, ashy, and dusty. Not classy. You send your kid off, they gonna come back with diseases. They gonna come back completely telling you that they ain't no girl or no boy no more. They might have been for the streets all of a sudden. They didn't go to class, don't even got good grades, and they want to be a part of the marching band and go to homecoming. And they pledged to an organization that is not of God. And all of these cultural norms are established over a period of time. And what Trump is basically talking about right now is the ones that establish what is now to be an accreditation, meaning that it gives your organization or the university that you attend validation in the eyes of other people that then say you are qualified to teach my child and what you say is correct. So he said that we're going to establish new cultural norms by changing who is validating and what is accredited at our universities and what can and can't be taught to our children, because these should not be indoctrination camps. These should be places of higher learning. These should not be indoctrination camps. These should be places of higher learning. You should not be sending your child out there to be culturally infected and then coming back to think something is different than what it is, and they got a whole bunch of student debt in order to do so. Now they begging the federal government for student loan forgiveness for something that they signed up for because we didn't do our job as parents, and then culturally we let this country get so far out of control that now we are in a place of demonic spirits that are then infecting what it is that we're doing on every single level. We went from, okay, y'all can get married, to now your children is having a sex change. We went to, yeah, okay, you know what? I don't really care. Do what you want to do, to now you're required to hire him because he identifies as sassy. It's wrong. It's wrong on the highest level. But Trump is dealing with this accreditation now.
The college accreditation system. It's called accreditation for a reason. The accreditors are supposed to ensure that schools are...
Yo, keep a long leash inside of the comments just because somebody may disagree with y'all or disagree with me. Don't necessarily means that we censor people. We don't censor people here. We want people of different opinions. If you liberal, if you disagree with me 100%, as long as nobody is overly disrespectful and trying to endanger somebody's safety, let them rock.
Not ripping off students and taxpayers, but they have failed totally. When I return to the White House, I will fire the radical left accreditors that have allowed our colleges to become dominated by Marxist maniacs and lunatics. We will then accept applications for new accreditors.
Hey, Mom, I'm on a live stream. What's going on?
Oh. Hey, what's up? You called me.
I wanted to get your thoughts about the election. What did you think about that?
Very, very, very disappointed. Saddened. Disappointed.
What are you disappointed about?
That Trump was elected and that who I voted for, Kamala, was not. So, yeah, that was disappointing. Very disappointing.
It was very disappointing?
Mm-hmm. Very disappointing.
What is it that you wanted her to do?
I didn't want to see a convicted criminal, rapist.
What did you want her to do, Ma? What did you want her to do?
I wanted her to get elected.
No, I'm saying, and then do what for the country?
Whatever happens, anything and anybody. You want to be honest? I'm gonna throw this here. I wasn't necessarily a fan of Kamala. That would not have been, if there was somebody else they probably would have been getting my vote. But because I wasn't all that impressed with her when she was vice president, or being vice president, she still is. But she was the best of two evils.
How? What makes you say that?
Because she's never really, I haven't seen anything that she's done or accomplished or to brag on, but so I am going to vote. I'm definitely going to vote always because we earned that right after so many years of fighting for it. So yes, I pushed voting hard. So because I was going to vote, I did my due diligence so I wouldn't have anything to complain about, saying, the typical complaining once you don't cast a vote and then you wishing you would have or whatever. But so she wasn't like somebody that was somebody that I could be proud that I voted for, but at the same time, she was the best of two evils, like I said. So
I'm gonna convert you one day. Don't worry about it. I get you there.
Never that, sir. Never
Never
that.
Wait. Hold on. You can't say never. That's not right. That's not right.
No.
That's not right. You have to be open.
Why?
Because you have to be open-minded. That's not right.
You know I'm very open-minded.
No, you just said never mind. You can't say never. You always have to be open.
I'll say never to this. If there ever comes a time again, I won't ever vote for Trump. Trump is the devil himself. He's a walking demon. And for
I think he was
what needs to happen.
I think he's got.
What needs to happen is that you need to have an open mind. I'm gonna convert you one day. That's what needs to happen. Poor Anton. I love you forever and always. But he is a demon from hell. He is the Antichrist. He is everything absolutely.
What makes him?
Absolutely.
What makes him the Antichrist?
What makes him not the Antichrist? How can you even? I don't understand. It's almost like these people. Y'all are blind. Y'all have been blinded by the Antichrist. You actually voted for that fool, and it's amazing.
What does he do? What did he do that's evil? What did he do?
You mean what has he done?
Yeah, what has he done that's evil?
Tell me one thing he's done that was right. That wasn't evil.
He just said that we need to ban gender affirmation, and we're getting back to making sure that children cannot transition and parents can't allow their children to transition from a boy to a girl, and that we need to get back to traditional American values.
Okay. I'll give you that one. I'll give you that.
He said that we need to protect our borders and make sure that we don't have people coming over here illegally, and that we need to focus more on...
See, that when he did do that last time, and he, handled the illegal immigrants, how he separated all these people from their children. Children were abandoned and left alone by themselves to be trafficked and to be raped and to be molested and to be placed with strangers as opposed to being with their families. Oh, it was very true. And you know that's true. So I'm not going to try to convince you that it's true or not true because you already know. So, I mean, you're very, very educated.
You don't
and
think
you're very
we need to
wise.
close off our borders?
Oh, yeah. I said the way he does things is evil.
Ma, do you know that there's migrants over here raping? It was a 5-year-old that just was raped by a legal migrant over in New York. That they are killing women and American citizens, that they are shooting at the police and stuff?
Okay. I just want to say this. I can't wait to say I told you so. I can't.
Tell me what.
You know how I always look forward to being able to say, you always tell me to do stuff, and I'm like, don't do that. You gotta do it anyway.
Ma, you haven't said anything that he's done. That's
because that's a whole conversation that I can't have right now because I'm in
all
the
right, Ma,
process
just give me one thing.
On the move.
Give me one thing that makes him the Antichrist.
He's a criminal. And this project 2025, what he has planned going on, I know we all blinded to that too, and it's really a good thing. Everything that he stands for is evil. He's an evil demon.
Why you can't say that about people? You've never met him. He hasn't done anything that's negative towards people.
Okay.
He has not done one thing that would cause for him to be called that.
Okay, Anton. Okay. So you know me. I'm not gonna argue politics, and I'm not gonna argue religion.
No, we're not arguing. We're just chilling.
Yeah, but that's a big subject, and so I mean it is what it is. The Bible says faith without works is dead. I did the works and I did my vote, and then I prayed, and then I leave well enough alone.
That is not applicable to an election. That is not.
That's all you can do. That's all you can do. You vote, you pray, and you walk away. And then whatever happens, it is what it is. I can't worry about it. So what is there? What else is there to do? What else is there? Tell me what else. What else is there to do? What's the other solution?
We gonna, as a family, remove your right to vote.
Wrong answer. You didn't tell me what else is there to do. What else can you do? You vote. You pray. You walk away.
No, you're supposed to lean to me and follow me to the
absolutely.
polls. Follow me to the polls. That's what you're supposed to do.
Man, please. If I followed you, I would be.
I make sure that you're well taken care of. What do you mean?
Yep, thank you. I appreciate that. That's so nice. Yeah. Good judgment and common sense comes into play, though, also. And your judgment is so far off. So far off. So off.
Mine is?
It's off. Heck yeah. You a hot mess.
I'm a mess?
Heck yeah. You know you are. You know you are.
All righty, mother dear. Well, I appreciate you. Thank you for
But I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you.
All right, my love. I love you too.
Are you coming to my 70th birthday?
You're my mother. Why wouldn't I come? No, wait. Where you going? Where you going on your 70th?
See, you don't even know.
Where you going? Well, since I declared myself a Republican, I've been cut off by the family. So.
Says who? Don't nobody care about that. Ain't nobody caring about that. Are you serious? You have not.
No, they have not informed me of anything. I don't know nothing about Thanksgiving. I don't know nothing about birthdays. I don't know nothing about nothing.
Oh, man, that means you're not communicating with your wife. You coming to Thanksgiving?
Well,
talk to your wife, because if you say you are, you aren't. That's going to be on your wife.
I'll find out what's going on.
Because, see, I know you're not on the group meet, but I know she is, and she's bringing food. So, I know what she's bringing, and if you don't know, shame on you.
All right. I'll call you after.
All right. Okay.
All right, bye.
Love you, bye.
My family, listen, y'all are not alone. I keep trying to tell y'all, and this is why I always like to be transparent, because y'all think that y'all alone. Anton don't get it. Anton, dog, no, we all in the same boat. My judgment is off. I'm stupid. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know why I support Trump. All of this other type of stuff. I'm telling you, my family, they be using scripture that's wrong and stuff like that. Faith without works is dead. And so I went out and voted. And so I got to put my faith in God. That is not what it means. Anyways, I'm glad that my pain is a reflection of your pain, because we are not different. My entire family outside of my wife, my entire family voted blue. When that demographic come out and it says Over 80% of black people voted blue. My family too. Let me play this whole video for y'all so y'all can know what's going on with the Department of Education.
Tuition costs at colleges and universities have been exploding, and I mean absolutely exploding, while academics have been obsessed with indoctrinating America's youth. The time has come to reclaim our once great educational institutions from the radical left, and we will do that. Our secret weapon will be the college accreditation system. It's called accreditation for a reason. The accreditors are supposed to ensure that schools are not ripping off students and taxpayers, but they have failed totally. When I return to the White House, I will fire the radical left accreditors that have allowed our colleges to become dominated by Marxist maniacs and lunatics. We will then accept applications for new accreditors who will impose real standards on colleges once again and once and for all. These standards will include defending the American tradition and Western civilization, protecting free speech, eliminating wasteful administrative positions that drive up costs incredibly, removing all Marxist diversity, equity, and inclusion bureaucrats, offering
no more DEI,
options for accelerated and low-cost degrees, providing meaningful job placement and career services.
And see, you know, when I seen people say something about this, they missed that part. He said no DEI. Let me rewind it for you.
And inclusion bureaucrats, wasteful administrative positions that drive up costs incredibly, removing all Marxist diversity, equity, and inclusion bureaucrats, offering options for accelerated and low-cost degrees.
Offering options for accelerated and low-cost degrees. This is what you wanted. This is what you wanted. They listened to you. Republicans are listening to you. You want to be educated. You want to be in a position to get the jobs that you want. You want higher education. You want it accelerated. You don't want to go to school for 4 years to do so. Okay. We need to remove the bloatware from these universities and all of these administrative costs that they're using you for in order to get rich. And then we're going to make sure that they have accelerated, low-cost degrees that empowers our workforce to be positioned to take advantage of the technology and the jobs that is coming to the United States of America. What more do you want from this man? What more do you want? No more diversity, equity, and inclusion. If you want to win, then you're going to have to put the work in. And in addition to that, we're going to enable you to be able to get a low-cost degree so you don't have to keep getting long-term student loans that you then have to ask for forgiveness for, but you can run up a bag and be able to continue to run it up. What more do you want from this man? What more do you want? I don't know what else to do. He fixing the economy. He making sure that your children don't have to have student loans. He giving you a legacy. He's giving you opportunity, and he's removing your ability to start making excuses about the system. What more do you want from this man?
Providing meaningful job placement and career services, and implementing college entrance and exit exams to prove that students are actually learning and getting their money's worth. Furthermore, I will direct the Department of Justice to pursue federal civil rights cases against schools that continue to engage in racial discrimination and schools that persist in explicit, unlawful discrimination under the guise of equity will not only have their endowments taxed, but through budget reconciliation, I will advance a measure to have them fined up to the entire amount of their endowment.
Oh, that means that people that are basically reverse discriminated against, that means that you qualify for the position as a woman, as a man, as a black person, as a white person, as an Asian person. You get the position. You get placement based off of competitive nature. You should not be discriminated against because somebody is born with something that they can't control and then all of a sudden they get an opportunity over you. If you have the ability to get it, if you're going to win, then you're going to win. That's how it is. It's first come, first serve. Capitalism at its finest. The best man wins. The best woman wins. You want it equal. This is what we get. You don't get preferential treatment because you're a third double minority. I'm a woman. I'm color and you sassy. No, That don't mean that you get preferential treatment. It's about grades, it's about statistics, it's about data, and it's about who's going to perform and who's going to graduate and who's going to be the best for the job. I love this.
A portion of the seized funds will then be used as restitution for victims of these illegal and unjust policies that hurt our country so badly. Colleges have gotten hundreds of billions of dollars from hardworking taxpayers, and now we are going to get this anti-American insanity out of our institutions once and for all.
How is this man not one of the greatest patriots and Americans of all time? I don't know. I don't know what's my family. I don't know what's wrong with my family. I don't know. But that's all right. We're going to continue to get there. Let me read some of these super chats and we're going to move over into the next part of the show. Should invite Owen Stroyer on the live team. I don't know who that is. Y'all got to send me his stuff. Send it to me. Email me. Trey Rowley 4 says, do you think Dems in office being reluctant going to start a civil war? They not. Well, what? They rainbow flags? Start a what? A civil what? Listen, half of them didn't even. 65% of people that identify as Democrats based off of identity politics in urban communities didn't even vote. The other half of them is bottoms. The other half of those is women. And we not worried. They too busy killing each other in their own neighborhoods to be worried about what's happening in the country. They too busy doing damage to each other in their own neighborhoods. They too focused on killing each other and mutilating their own babies and trying to make sure that they are part of diversity, equity, and inclusion before they could ever focus on getting it. Listen, the last thing you got to worry about is a civil war amongst sassy people. You ain't never got to worry about that from a bunch of people that's focused on whether or not they can get their reproductive rights. What? Man, yeah, right. Listen, we are not worried about people that throw their punches like this or like this. Ain't worried about nobody that throw their punches like this. If you throw a punch like this or you do like this, are you afraid of somebody that throw a punch like that? Huh? Are you or not? I can't believe it. I said, oh no. They too busy in debt. They got a load of credit card debt. They listen, the repo man is after their truck right now. They worried about trying to keep their Charger and Hellcat at $1,600 a month and 27% of interest rate than they are about some civil war. Get on out of here. Half of them is older black women in church. That's the ones that voted. The other one is simps. They're not even the head of their household, and you worried about them having some backbone. You ain't worried about no man that said that his woman is the head of the household. That when you ask him, hey, what is a woman? And he said it's whatever it is that she identified. You worried about him? You worried about him? No, I'm not. Hey, man, who the head of your household? Her. Who you give your paycheck to? Her. I ain't worried about no man that go 50-50 in his own house. I ain't worried about no man that go 50-50 in his own household. God bless you, dog. You 50? You 50 years old? You 50 for 50. You 50 years old still going 50-50 with your chick. Your chick earn more than you. Get on out of here. You a son husband. You a son husband. Not only are you a son husband, you a house husband. I ain't worried about nobody that was looking to Doug Emhoff to be the first husband in chief. The husband in, what do you call him? The first husband, madam in chief. Dog, you voted for somebody who's married to Doug Emhoff. Ain't nobody worried about you, dog. You know how that, I'm not scared of you. You be like, hey, look at him. He think he tough. Dog, we not worried about nobody that's a bottom. Shout out to the bottoms out here. Am I worried about the Democrats having it? No, nobody's worried about the Democrats. Who's worried about the Democrats? Who? So you telling me people that follow Roland Martin that we scared of him? People that follow Roland Martin, dog, have you seen Roland Martin walk around? Have you seen what Roland Martin look at on his computer during live streams? Roland Martin. Get out of here, bro. Get on out of here. Crazy. Hell no, I ain't worried about them people. Amari says, people really thought Trump said he was going to eliminate HBCUs and give reparations to white people. People are crazy, man. They're insane. I'd rather them spend $65 billion to deport than $65 billion to Ukraine. Me too. Can't believe he mentioned accreditors. I always said changes to education don't matter if they don't overhaul accrediting. Well, Trump is smart, and he got a lot of smart people around him. Anton, pass the pork chop. Did not tell me all this. That's because they don't want to have this conversation. Vaughn says, AD, you know I love your show, and I don't mind it. Same right here. And my femininity over here, follow my husband, lead teaching our children traditional values back to the basics. Shout out to my girl Vaughn. I love you, Vaughn. Conservative Christian says, Ephesians 6:11 through 18, put on the full armor of God. Spiritual warfare is real. We gird up and our breastplate of righteousness, baby. Trolling your own mama is wild. You must be new here. What Trump video is that? I can't find it. I can't find it either. And I bet you if the Democrats was able to find it, they'd have plastered that all over an ad. Somebody fact check me. There's no need for Biden to step down. The first female presidency was already held by Kamala Harris for a total of 85 minutes. That is true. Because I think when he went under a procedure, she was the president for 85 minutes. While Biden was having a colonoscopy. Now, yep, you are right. Chris Cunningham says, identifying as sassy is jokes. Brother AD, God first. MAGA, 25 years of true. Corey Joe Channel says, please pray for the USA and the world. We already did. That's why we got Trump. Oh, no, they got Mom Dukes on. Yeah, man, Mom Dukes is a Democrat, hardcore to her soul. My mother says the same thing. All of our mothers say the same thing. Bring back trade programs in high school. I'm with that. And the cooking programs for the women. There's a video of parents who took their toddler boy to a trans summer camp because he liked pink and sparkles. So now they dress him like a girl. That is absolutely evil. Love doesn't say, I told you so, Mama Daniels. The Outsider says women didn't fight for anything they can't. Everything was given by men. If you can't defend land or country, you should not have the opportunity to vote. Mr. Joe says it's impossible to reason with lifelong CNN watchers. Well, CNN is laying off, ain't they? No disrespect, but moms is a lost cause right now. We gonna convert her. AD definitely not invited to the Thanksgiving. Tell me about it. Shout out to the AM Gamer. I appreciate you. Big Fab in the building says, shaking my head, she don't know what she talking about. Mr. Joe says, impossible. Equilibrium is in the building. Shout out to Equilibrium. Says, AD, Mama is wrong. I hit you up from the border. She has no idea how immigration process works or how we do our job. Calling a man that recognizes God's creation as intended is no demon. Conservative Christian says, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Isaiah 5:20. Presidential says, I actually converted my mom this election. I got work to do. I thought I was a great salesman. Apparently I'm not. Mama! Shout out to Mom Dukes. Luxurious brand of cheek, our boo, poor boo, says, I'm Muslim. I know all religious books. No, God punishes inhumane sins severely. And remember, God destroyed 2 cities, Sodom and Gomorrah. Wake up. Congratulations, Trump. Let me get a round of applause for that one or a hit for that one. AM Gamer says, President worthy. $1 billion mismanaged equal president worthy? Nope. That phone call was a replica of my mother. I just took off my glasses. Probably was talking to the same person, right? 80 next time you visit your mom, parent, controller, TV. Only allow her to watch Fox News and Anton Daniels. Jermaine Sewell, thank you, Jermaine. I appreciate you. CMJ goes on to say, hey, Anton, I have cash sitting around and I was thinking about hiring cold callers to find distressed properties, vacant land, and do fix and flips, development in addition to working my W-2. Located in Boston, how is this approach? I don't think that you need to hire a cold caller to do it. I think you need to do wholesaling yourself. You got to get in the trenches, big dog. You got to get in the trenches. Or you can just get wholesalers and work with wholesalers. You don't have to hire cold callers. You know what I'm saying? Wholesalers are going to make their bag off of the difference that they get the contract under, and then you pay them whatever it is that you want to pay them. And if y'all can come to a deal, That's how you rock. So I would get wholesalers to work with you. As an investor, I wouldn't necessarily hire cold callers because wholesalers are the ones that do the cold calling and then they keep the difference of the money. All right? Prophetess Quenisha says, prayer back in the schools. Thanks, Trump. I'm with it. Jermaine Sewell says, according to Agenda 47, Trump will also fight to have prayer and the Bible back in schools. Trump ain't playing around. Kudos to Anton. Yeah. Trey Riley Ford says, don't have to use them, these migrants here. Pam Roning says, $65 billion to deport $65 billion a year at the support. I choose deport. Eddie B, that was a tongue twister right there. Eddie B then says, AD, absolutely amazing that liberals are now running around trying to get Biden to step down for Harris. Simply stupefying. Absolutely love the content in the show. Keep it banging it out, sir. Thank you, my friend. And then last but not least, I got my girl Vaughn. Vaughn says, was saying I'm a stay-at-home mom. Oh, okay, thank you. You know, I'm slow. I'm a C student. Well, last but not least, as I indicated, I do want to spend 10 minutes bringing my dog. Speaking of the migrant crisis, speaking of budget, speaking of property taxes, speaking of the rest, speaking of running into the Victim Olympics and diversity, equity, and inclusion hires, let's go ahead and bring Brandon Johnson back to the front of the congregation. He's now being opposed, and thank you to everybody that came on my show. I believe that y'all had a saying in this and a doing in this, and I'm going to read the Cash App shortly. Migrant crisis is going to still be supported regardless of whether or not they're still getting taxpayer dollars from the federal government. So y'all going to still be in tax. That's what the Chicago mayor is saying. And in addition to that, he's trying to figure out how to not walk back these property tax hikes that's being opposed by the people and the aldermen. Take a look.
President Judy, Mayor Brandon Johnson making it clear today whether it's protecting undocumented families in Chicago or his budget priorities, he will not compromise on his values. But on the budget, he seems willing to ease some of the pain on his proposed property tax hike. Mayor Brandon Johnson's proposed $300 million property tax hike has received significant criticism from alderpersons from the moment he introduced it right up until today, as public safety and other departments were getting their budgets scrutinized.
What we know is this: we are working to ensure that we go line by line to squeeze this budget as much as we can before we ask for $1 more from taxpayers.
In light of all the pushback from the council, the mayor suggesting his tax hike plan may not have been as serious as originally thought.
Well, I don't necessarily consider it as pushback. I'll say it like this. So as a public school teacher, sometimes we do things to get people's attention. And so now that we have the attention of everyone, I've said from the very beginning, this is a proposal.
How'd y'all let a public school teacher become mayor of Chicago? How did y'all let a public school teacher become the mayor of Chicago? And then this man gonna lie to y'all and say, sometimes as a public school teacher, we do things to get y'all attention, and now that we got y'all attention, like, what you think this is? What you think this is, a high school? This is people's real lives and real money that we playing with here. This ain't no game. Talking about you doing stuff to get people's attention. People can't even go to the grocery store. They got crime that's ridden their communities, that's taking over their communities, and they robbing dollar stores. As a public school teacher, sometimes we do things to get people's attention. Is you crazy? You smoking crack? You liar? Man, get the hell out of here. You're not doing stuff to get people's attention when you're talking about a $942 million budget deficit in Chicago. Man, what is y'all doing electing this guy? Why would y'all elect this man to be the mayor of Chicago? Is y'all crazy? And some people actually donated to his campaign.
I'm a collaborative mayor.
But Mayor Johnson said layoffs and furloughs are still out of the question, and he won't defer making a supplemental pension payment this year. The mayor denied misreading the council when he announced the property tax hike.
My finance team continues to have robust conversations about other forms of revenue that they should consider.
Also today, with the potential loss of federal dollars for law enforcement if the city won't cooperate with the Trump administration's plans to deport undocumented immigrants, the mayor making it clear Chicago will not not be bullied into helping ICE agents.
We're not going to bend or break or cower to someone's threat. We're going to stand up and unite around our shared values, and they have my assurance that I'm going to protect the families of this city.
Listen. I need y'all to hear what I'm saying, and I need you to hear me clearly. For everybody that is in Chicago, okay? Everybody that's in Chicago. What is the population of Chicago? Let me look this up real quick. For all 2.5 million of y'all that's still in Chicago, which is a lot of people, for all 2.5 million people in here, this man is going to destroy y'all city, and it's going to be nothing left of it. Pride cometh before the fall. Pride cometh before the fall. I'm telling you, y'all better get this man. I'm not telling y'all to leave because y'all voted for this. So deal with y'all stuff. The same way that we tell these illegal migrants, hey, fix your own country. The same way that y'all got this enthusiasm, the same way that we went back and we voted in Trump. We endured through the Biden-Harris administration. We stayed home the same way that I stayed in Detroit. And I decided that I wanted to deal with what's going on in my city because I was born here. I didn't ask to be born here, but this is what my circumstances are. And now the city is evolving and it's coming back. The same way that we telling illegal migrants to get your own country together, don't run over here and start telling us that we need to spend our taxpayers to take care of you, is in the same way that I'm telling y'all in Chicago, stay home. Stay home. Stay home. Fight the battle home. Fight the battle at home. Stay home. You voted for him, stay home. Stay home. We got a surplus here in our city. Y'all got a deficit in y'all city. Stay home. But this is what I will warn you of. This man is saying that he is willing to lose federal support, billions of dollars in support that also affects public safety. Let me play it for you again for those of y'all in the back that didn't catch it.
Denied misreading the council when he announced the property tax hike.
My finance team continues to have robust conversations about other forms of revenue that they should consider.
Also today, with the potential loss of federal dollars for law enforcement if the city won't cooperate with the Trump administration's plans to deport undocumented immigrants, the mayor making it clear Chicago will not be bullied into helping ICE agents.
We're not going to bend or break.
Federal dollars. Y'all are short 2,000 police officers already. And I'm hearing whispers. I'm hearing from my sources that is within the Chicago Police Department that they are preparing to have a mass exodus, meaning that police officers that are still there are trying to figure out how they can pack up their families and get another job somewhere else where they are supported by their local governments. They can get better pension, better pay, and don't have to put their lives on the lines every single day. And it's going to be a mass exodus of police officers that no longer want to participate with the city. You are down 2,000 police officers. They just removed ShotSpotter. Listen to me. Listen, Linda. I don't know if y'all really understand how serious this is. This is a big deal. This is a massive deal. Y'all don't have no money. Y'all operating at a deficit. Y'all credit rating is about to go down. Y'all mayor is saying that he don't even want to make sure that he getting federal dollars for y'all city and for police officers and public safety. Y'all are dependent on this money in order to survive and keep your family safe. They are talking about raising your property taxes, and then ultimately you're going to lose your home. You already have property taxes that is the highest in the nation. And he's talking about standing on family values. I haven't been wrong on anything political. When everybody was saying that it's not going to be a wash, I told you it was going to be a landslide. I told you that he was going to win every single battleground state, and I staked my reputation on it. I told you who was going to be in the administration and what roles that they were going to play. I am telling you right now that this city is on a pathway to bankruptcy. I told you 2 years ago. I told you a year ago. I told you 6 months ago. I told you 3 months ago that y'all were going to have property tax hikes. That crime was going to explode and run rampant. That the Democratic National Convention coming to Chicago was going to leave y'all in even further of a deficit. I'm telling you that if you don't get some control in y'all city, if y'all don't start participating in these meetings and going there, you are going to be left in shambles. 100% shambles. This is now what they're saying about the property tax hikes. Okay? They are willing to support migrants. They're placing migrants before you in your own backyard where you pay taxes and crazy amounts of taxes.
Mayor Johnson is calling an audible this afternoon. He is walking back his proposal for a $300 million property tax hike to balance the budget.
Political reporter Bear Schutz is live to explain what the mayor's change of heart means for you.
Terrence, Sylvia, $300 million property tax hike. What $300 million property tax hike? The mayor now deciding to negotiate that number down in the face of opposition from city council members, a majority of which threatened to vote it down themselves in a special city council meeting this week. The mayor says the contention is a sign that he is open to negotiate.
Should the people of Chicago know that I'm serious of working through this dynamic? Absolutely, I'm serious about it. Absolutely. That's why we put the proposal out in the first place, and that's why we're not dictating the outcome and the success of this budget. Again, it's a collaborative approach. I will continue to lead that way.
So the mayor's administration has been in negotiations with some Alder people over the weekend on alternative sources of revenue to make up that $300 million. He says all options are on the table. He might reduce that number. He might get rid of it altogether. One thing not on the table, any job cuts or furloughs for city workers. So that leaves Alders scrambling for new tax ideas.
There were discussions around the personal property lease tax. It is a tax on technology companies that lease cloud space. There's also conversations around taxes on cigars or cigarettes, as well as plastic, among others. There's also discussions around the ARPA funding.
People talked about like Delta 8, for example, and maybe taxing that either in beverage form or other things. Parking tax, garbage fees that come up. So there's a number of things. I think what
Tax, more tax, tax on gas, tax on cigarettes, tax on parking fees, tax on blinking, tax on breathing, tax on waters, tax, more taxes. Just tax the people. Tax them some more, and tax them some more, and tax them some more, and then add a city tax on top of it, and then eventually we'll get to the property tax. Tax people. Democrats don't know no other words except for tax the people. Tax, more taxes. Taxes on you, taxes, tolls, taxes and tolls and taxes, more taxes.
I'm concerned about is there are some of our colleagues that think that foregoing the pension payment or lessening it is a good idea. It is fundamentally irresponsible to think that that's the way to go.
So it's a whole buffet of possible tax options there. What Vasquez is referring to at the end is this extra pension payment that the city has been making for the last few years to make sure those beleaguered pension funds don't slip into bankruptcy. The mayor and Alderman Vasquez saying, no, we got to keep making that pension payment. However,
Foxhole says, don't forget the tax that you collect from those that's collecting taxes. Oh, I told you that it's the middle class that suffers. It's the middle class that suffers. And you know what this is also, you know what he's standing on? Where he's saying that they're going to stand on supporting migrants above actually making sure that you are protected in your own communities. Let me give Brandon Johnson a round of applause. They are going to stand on taxing more instead of supporting the people in the community with public safety. They are willing to lose federal dollars. I have never heard of a city ever in my life saying that they're willing to lose federal dollars, and you know Trump don't play no games. You know Trump not playing no games. Mess around and find out if you want to. Keep playing Russian roulette if you want to. Play chicken if you want to. Trump is not swerving. The only difference is you driving in a Neon and he driving in a tractor trailer Mack truck. You driving in a Neon playing chicken with a dude that's on the tractor trailer. Man, y'all so crazy. I can't even believe that y'all willing to even deal with this nonsense. And tax. More taxes. Shout out to my dog Tommy for the support on Cash App. I appreciate you, big dog. Thank you, Tommy. I appreciate you. Spencer Campbell, what up, my dog? Vanessa, what up to Vanessa? Said, I do support Trump. Shout out to my ladies for Trump. We gotta get back to the core of who we are. We need to make sure that we support our people and we need to hold it down. Dust 5900 says, we out here in the Bay Area voted for Trump. We wanted to change too. Yeah, y'all got Mayor Shane Tao up out of there also. Tax-free home and property for combat vets. I'm with that. Trey Rowley says, I don't really get why the left is mad. Like what you support and killing a life. Changing gendered and paying for migrants that live here, shaking my head. Seeker of Truth goes on to say, fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, never gonna get fooled again. He won't get my vote again. Shout out to Bush the second. Nobody is gonna fight for him, not even the cops. Can't believe these people is just dead set on running these cities. Man, look. I'm trying to find out Perfect Peace Vibes. Says, hey, Mr. AD, how can the people of Chicago get Mayor Brandon Johnson out before his term? We are beyond tired of both him and the governor. I don't know if y'all can. He only been in there for what, like a year? 2 years? Something like that? I don't know if y'all can protect Peace Vibes. I think the only thing that y'all can do is put pressure on him to do the right thing and make sure that he abandoned this whole migrant thing. Eddie B says, AD, most of the people being interviewed by the media, there had Hispanic last names and white. That's not necessarily a huge deal. For me, if you're not a citizen, can't have a seat on the city council. I believe that they citizens. The Democrats, I like that. The Democrats, that's what's up. Shout out to Chase Barnes. I appreciate y'all. I'm so confused. I am so confused. I am really, really confused. And let me just say this, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap up. Before y'all leave, make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you've been here more than once, subscribe and hit a notification so you know when we go live Monday through Friday. And get your tickets. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Get your tickets. Link is in the description for y'all to get y'all tickets. I'm so confused. Am I off? That's the thing that I'm trying to figure out. Am I off? Am I off, y'all? Are we all delusional? Is every last one of us 100% delusional about what's happening? Are we off of supporting Trump? Why would anybody support these Democrats considering what they're doing? I don't know what's wrong with us. Either we wrong or they wrong, and I'm willing to bet that they wrong versus us being wrong. It's crazy, man. I'm stressed out. Y'all got me stressed out over Chicago and stuff like that. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm on your way out the door. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I think that y'all are the greatest audience on earth. Pam Roning says, recall Mayor Mohawk. I agree with y'all. Stay focused. Stay up. Rare night. Maybe I'll live stream today. If I carve out some time, I might hit y'all with a surprise live stream. Maybe I'll find a personal guest or something like that. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Stay focused.